Hello Curious and welcome back. In the past days, the entire world had their gaze fixed on Ukraine and Russia as the latter had invaded their neighbours. Even more so, the Western world has its eyes on the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who has left many in awe of him because of his leadership. However, until recently, many people were not necessarily happy with the 2019 election results that saw the former actor-comedian win and begin serving as the country's president. Though while right now most of the world is praising his leadership, how did Zelensky start his career in politics? What exactly do we know about this man and his work prior to 2019? Why have some been against him? And just why exactly are many around the world hailing him as a national hero? Stay with us until the very end to find out all the news, but before we continue, don't forget to hit the notifications and subscription buttons so you are always up to date with the latest news from the world of entertainment and not only. In recent days, social media had brought the attention of the world to several Ukrainian heroes who in their own right are working on stopping Putin's forces. One group of heroes were the 13 soldiers on Ukraine's Snake Island who, when asked by the Russian troops to lay down their weapons, had responded with, "Russian warship, go f*** yourself." While it was believed these soldiers have lost their lives, the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine had revealed that they believe those men might still be alive. Though as of the making of this video, that is not confirmed 100%. Another person who has grasped at the heartstrings of internet users was a woman that was filmed confronting a heavily armed Russian soldier in one of the cities and offering him sunflower seeds to put in his pockets so that if he loses his life on Ukrainian soil, at least sunflowers, which are the country's national flower, will grow in that place. There have been plenty of other recordings, such as a man moving a landmine with his hands and away from a bridge and residential areas, a Ukrainian citizen stealing a Russian tank with his tractor, and an 80-year-old man who had turned up to enlist in the army for his grandkids. It was also reported that around 20,000 expats from Ukraine had returned back to their homeland from across Europe. If you want to know more about the war and the reason for it, be sure to check out our previous video by clicking on the link above. But for now, stay with us until the very end to find out more about Zelensky. However, one person that was hailed as a hero by many, including world leaders, has been Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Despite this, not that long ago many were unhappy with him having won the 2019 election and saw him as a joke president. But why exactly was that? Well, let's look back at the start of the man's career. Volodymyr Alexandrovich Zelensky was born on 25th January 1978 in Kryvyi, which at the time was part of the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. His father is a professor and the head of the Department of Cybernetics and Computing Hardware at the Kryvyi State University Economics and Technology, while his mother used to work as an engineer. The man, who was raised in the Jewish faith, has had family members such as his great-grandfather lose their lives during World War II. As for his education, Zelensky has earned a law degree. However, he never went to work in the legal field, as his career took a different turn. When he was 17, he joined a team in a local comedy competition. It wasn't long before he was invited to join the Ukrainian team Zaporizhzhia Kryvyi Transit, with which he performed and ended up winning in 1997. That same year, inspired by the victory, he created a team Kvartal 95, and with them, he toured around post-Soviet countries. From 2003, the group started producing TV shows for Ukrainian television, which later would lead to the actor getting a job in the acting industry. Around that same time, September 2003 to be exact, the 44-year-old man had married his fiancée of 8 years, Olena Kiashko. The two had met each other in school and later reconnected at university, where she studied to become an architect. Though as her husband created his production company, she would begin work as a scriptwriter. In July 2004, the pair had welcomed the first child, a daughter named Alexandra, who had appeared in her father's movie 8 New Dates, as well as taking part in a kids' comedy show. There, she won 50,000 hryvnias, which is equal to $1,663. In January 2013, the couple had also welcomed their second child, son Kyrylo. With the ongoing war, Zelensky had revealed that his family had also remained behind in Kiev, and that they are in a secure location, which for safety reasons could obviously not be disclosed. But But back to the man's career. It was 2008 that Volodymyr had received his first role in a feature film. He took on the role of Igor in the movie Love in the Big City, and in 2002 he reprised the role in the sequel, and in 2014 in the third installment. From then on, he starred in other movies such as The Office Romance, Our Time, Rozevsky vs. Napoleon, 8 First Dates, and its sequels. As the Western world was learning more and more about the 6th president of Ukraine, it had also come to light that he was the voice actor for Paddington in the Ukrainian dubbed version of the kids' movie. And on top of this, archive footage had emerged from the 2006 and first edition of Dancing with the Stars, which had starred Zelensky, and in which he did so well that he ended up winning the competition along with his professional dance partner Olena Shoptenko. The recording that had emerged online had been circulating social media with internet users sharing it en masse, with several of them asking if there is anything that this man can't do. Funnily enough, one of Zelensky's roles would turn out to be somewhat prophetic. In 2015, he became the star of a television show that was titled Servant of the People, in which he played the role of a president of Ukraine. However, in the series, his character was a simple high school history teacher in his 30s who happened to win the election after a video that went viral had shown him ranting against government corruption in Ukraine. In real life, things might not have happened like that, but as you know very well, Volodymyr had very much become a politician. His political party, named Servant of the People, just like the title of the TV show, was created in March 2018 by his production company. When asked why he decided to change his career, in a 2019 interview, Zelensky had stated that he did so to restore trust in politicians and that he wanted to bring professional, decent people to power and change the mood of the political establishment as much as he could. His campaign to unseat former President Petro Poroshenko, which was almost entirely virtual, started on December 31st, 2018. Though here it is worth pointing out that in the first round of voting, he received only 30% of the votes, though it still allowed him to go to the next round. And in the runoff election in April 2019, he received 73% of the vote, thus winning the election. Though it is worth pointing out that the one of his campaign promises was that he would not only serve one term in office. Despite the fact that even as early as 6 months prior to announcing his candidacy for the election he was already one of the front runners in opinion polls, when it came to him actually being elected, not everyone was thrilled. There were many people who had seen his candidacy and the fact that he had won as a joke, and internet users would make jokes that Ukraine had elected a comic as a president. Others were worried as during his campaign he had the support of oligarch Ihor Kolomoisky, which had many fearing that he would turn out to be a puppet leader, controlled by a man who, according to media reports, is undergoing investigation in the US for possible fraud and money laundering. Despite the critique that Zelensky had faced since becoming president, he worked hard on fulfilling the wishes of the Ukrainian people by strongly advocating for his country to join the EU and NATO, which is something that many people had been in favor of. Yet during the reporting on the Russian invasion, Sky News reporters in Kiev spoke with citizens on the streets, and many had honestly admitted that they either did not vote for Zelensky or that upon his election they had no faith in him as president. However, most of them had added that his actions in the past days had proven them wrong and that the man has stepped up to the task. That was proven by the fact that in face of the invasion, instead of fleeing the country, he had not only stayed behind in Kiev, but also has been on the front line of his troops. Other world leaders had offered to help him flee, as well as to keep him safe, but Zelensky had refused. When such a proposition came from US President Joe Biden, Volodymyr simply replied, "I need ammunition, not a ride." His stance had only made the people of Ukraine see him in a totally different light, but also people from all over the world. Since the Russian invasion, Zelensky has worked hard by not only addressing his people to stay strong, but also addressing other nations, including Russia. In one speech that he directed at the Russian public in their language to tell them that the truth and not what they've been told via their propaganda media. As he keeps people updated via his social media, Volodymyr has revealed that he has constantly been in touch with other world leaders, talking about their next steps, asking them for military aid or taking tougher sanctions in Russia. In light of this leadership, some internet users pointed out that once this war is over, and should Zelensky survive it, he should be given a Nobel Peace Prize or some other award for how he has faced in this situation. Do you agree? So curious, what are your thoughts? Do you think people were right to question his presidency at the start? Did you know anything about him before? What are your opinions on Ukraine's leader? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.